Today's podcast, which is called The Fauci Papers, is reminiscent of Daniel Ellsberg's The Pentagon Papers, the Valachi Papers about the mafia. This is no different. This is one of the greatest cover-ups in American history, certainly the greatest cover-up in American medical history. And the man behind it all is none other than the snake and the weasel, the fraud of frauds, who, by the way, should be tried and, in my opinion, tried for murder for what he has done to this nation and the world. Way back when, I did a piece of a podcast on masks and the uselessness of masks based upon the work of a great physician, Dr. Simone Gold. And in a February 5th, 2020 email that was released in the Fauci Papers, the fraud Fauci wrote, quote, "The typical mask you buy in a drugstore is not really effective in keeping out the virus, which is small enough to pass through the material," unquote. 2 months later, the fraudulent, ineffective, lying CDC would encourage masks with the Saint Fauci's blessing. This is all in today's podcast. But remember, this all came out in the emails that were released. Way back in February, I posted this on michaelsavage.com, and I tweeted it, put it on Facebook. Of course, it was not accepted because I'm not Saint Fauci. And the vermin in the media, of course, you know the rest of that story. Now, where did I get this information about masks and the pore size of masks and the size of the virus? I got it from Dr. Simone Gold. She's not well known. She's an emergency physician. She works in a clinic. She serves all Americans from urban inner city to suburban. And she has a blog post called The Gold Opinion. She's a medical doctor and a lawyer, a board-certified emergency physician. But she wasn't consulted. Instead, they relied upon this snake and the weasel, Dr. Faustus. And she wrote this. I'm going to quote it now. "It is clear to me as a physician lawyer that the disinformation about both COVID-19 and the Constitution has caused us to turn a medical issue into a legal crisis." Remember, this was published in June of 2020. Okay? She continues, "The scientific usefulness of a mask has been so aggressively overstated, and the foundational importance of the Constitution has been so aggressively understated that we have normalized people screaming obscenities at each other while hiking." She says, "The COVID virus was supposed to be contained in the kind of a lab where people wear astronaut suits and go through triple sealed doors. It is a con of massive proportion to assert that now, having escaped those environs, a bandana will magically do the trick." And here she goes. Please pay attention. She says, "After all, size matters.